Welcome back again, everybody, to episode 13. This is part 2 of our TV tapings for my AWA save here on the 1987 Supermod. Okay, we had 2 successful recordings previously of AWA Championship Wrestling on ESPN and also of All-Star Wrestling. So here we are paying firm attention to the top line. It is telling us that we are going to be recording the second episode of Championship Wrestling. Sometimes you end up doing All-Star Wrestling back-to-back or Championship Wrestling back-to-back, but this one is taking us back over to Championship Wrestling for week 4 now. This is for the next week. And we're going to go ahead and get going on it. Sherry Martel is putting up the women's title against enhancement talent Sabrina. And Sabrina is actually pretty talented. She's another one I almost feel bad about using as enhancement talent, but you know, sometimes that's just the way it is, and it has to be. So here we go, women's title. And Sherry Martel takes the win. Butler and Luca are going to take on the Guerrero brothers. And time again, you have heard me sing the Guerrero brothers' praises. I really think the world of the Guerrero brothers. All 4 of them, I think very highly of them. They were all such talented wrestlers. So it's Steve Butler and Mike Luca. And for those of you that were with us previously, you were there when we just added Mike Luca recently. Mike Luca was a Puerto Rican wrestler, and he was a talented guy. He did a really good job as enhancement talent. So, representing the La Familia Guerrero, we are going to have Chavo and Hector. As you know, if you follow this channel, they're also on our touring schedule. So we're going to put we're going to put Hector over on this one. Nice enhancement match. Make the Guerrero brothers look great, even though you know they're probably going to end up making the enhancement talent look great. Blackie Guzman is going to wrestle Mike Graham. Again, that name Blackie Guzman just does not age well, but that was the man's name. That's what he wrestled under. I'm telling you, I dig the hat. I dig the look. Let's see if Mike Graham's available. Mike Graham is not available. Okay, so let's take a look then and see who we didn't use. And let's get him in there. So we're going to give Steve, no, you know what? We're going to give Russ Francis a match here. And we're going to let Russ Francis go over Blackie Guzman. Russ Francis does not win at all on the touring schedule. So this is a chance for him to get a W. So there we go. Francis gets the win, the former football player, second generation star, son of a promoter. We're going back to our schedule here. Jake the Milkman Milliman is going to battle Jerry Blackwell. This is some beef in the ring. Milliman was such a fun-loving enhancement talent guy. He was with the AWA forever, and he was fun to watch. So Jerry Blackwell is going to go ahead and beat him. Jerry Blackwell's doing well. He's got very hot momentum. He's winning on the live event tour against Jack Victory, and he's also winning on TV. So my personal feelings of Jerry Blackwell aside, I think he was a good fit in the AWA, and the fans really liked him. So we're going to continue utilizing him as such. Julio Rodriguez is going to take on newcomer, the Iron Sheik. Yes, for those of you that may not have watched our previous videos, real to life last month, the Iron Sheik was fired by the WWF for getting arrested for possession of cocaine, along with his feuding the wrestler that he was feuding with, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, in a car in New Jersey. And so we offered, he'd already been snatched up by a couple other promotions, so we offered the Iron Sheik a chance to come in and work for us and return home where he started, and he did. He signed with us. Unfortunately, what I was concerned about is now we do not have him for TV. So that's the problem when they're signed with other promotions. Let's see if we can't rectify that. And in the meantime, we're going to have Steve Olsenowski get a win instead of the Iron Sheik. We're going to go back here, take a look, and it's Julio Rodriguez. I had forgotten the guy's name. Very short memory, folks. I get myself all excited when I do these episodes, and I forget the names pretty quickly. So we're going to change that over to Olsenowski. Obviously, Olsenowski is not nearly the wrestler of the Iron Sheik, nor the name, nor the notoriety, but he's on our tour, so we're going to get him a win here on TV. Did you see those sideburns on Rodriguez? Good luck, man. All right, Bob Backlund is going to cut a promo here. Bob Backlund has kind of been a sleeper for us. Very talented wrestler. He's doing real good on the tours. And someday he just might break through here. He is a former World Heavyweight Champion with the WWF. And it'll be interesting to see how we end up using him here in the AWA. He is going to take out Joe Pantera, hopefully with the crossface chicken wing, but most likely with the atomic drop. Joe Pantera was another guy that did enhancement matches for the AWA for many, many years. And he's going to do another one here for Bob Backlund. Big Scott Hall here is going to cut a promo. He has been doing very well lately with promos. So, of course, we're going to have him cut the promo on Bockwinkel and Zbyszko. There he is, microphone, off screen, booked. Gets a full 5 minutes, plenty of time to make a great promo. So we're going to have Rose and Summers in a tag match here. I think I've explained this before. I don't always put everybody that's in these later matches doing the promo before their match. I find it fun to have other people do promos in there too to keep the big feuds going. You still got to give TV time to Rose and Summers, but it's a good way to get the other people, the other major feuds and stuff like that, some promo time. So Knight and Kurgnoff are going to wrestle Rose and Summers. And I think it's Krugnoff, Crusher Krugnoff. And I did look it up. He did end up doing like a 6-man tag thing with, and Alex Knight is being used. Okay, so we're going to use Al Ringo. Crusher Krugnoff ended up doing the Russian gimmick with Zhukov and Ustinov, and actually I think it was Tijo Khan later on. I really just don't think much of the guy, so he's just going to continue on as enhancement talent for us. It's Buddy Rose and Doug Summers. Very, very talented tag team. I think very highly of them. Even though Doug Summers, according to Brian Blair, was kind of a jerk. But that's between them. For those of you that may not know, Brian Blair, in the Mid-South territory that was owned previous, that Bill Watts ran the Mid-South promotion. Bill Watts bought out by force Leroy McGurk, and Leroy McGurk was blind, and he also did color commentary, being blind, pretty impressive. Leroy McGurk was a longtime wrestler. He was quite the personality. Anyway, he had a partnership with Bill Watts, and depending on who you listen to, Bill Watts ended up taking the territory, and Leroy McGurk was out of the wrestling business. Anyway, Leroy McGurk had a daughter named Mike McGurk. Yes, he named his daughter Mike. And Brian Blair and her had a relationship behind Leroy McGurk's back. They ended up being married. And somehow it turned out that Doug Summers was playing hide the sausage with Mike McGurk. And that led to Brian Blair and him having words and having fisticuffs, in which Doug Summers got busted up pretty badly, and Brian Blair left the territory. Now, I heard Brian Blair tell this story, but I've also heard others talk about this. So I think the chances that this happened were actually very real. They're very happy. They did happen. And in fact, I heard Mike McGurk talk about it on the podcast with Sean Mooney a few years ago. She had mentioned this. So apparently, Brian Blair and Mike McGurk are still friends to this day. And just some Supermod updates for you. In the Supermod version 7 that'll be coming out in February, that's what I'm going to release. I'm playing 7 right now. All the updates are in it, but I will release it to everybody else in February. And not only will Leroy McGurk be in it, but also Mike McGurk will be in it. So, and of course, their relationships and everything else will be involved in there also. So again, striving for realism and making it happen. So there we go. Buddy Rose is going to get the win. We're going to have a Nick Bockwinkel promo, and you know this is going to be solid. So here we go. Nick Bockwinkel. Man, is he good. He is so good in this save. I don't want to take the title off him. He's so good. So let's get him trash talking Kurt Hennig and Scott Hall. So Bockwinkel's going to be rated on microphone. Hennig and Hall are not going to be rated at all. So in our main event, we are having Hall versus Bockwinkel. We had this about a month or so ago, and we're going to do it again because this feud is hot. And I think the last time Bockwinkel won by interference from Larry Zbyszko. So let's do something different. AWA was notorious for its screwjob finishes on television, obviously, because it was a build-up to get you to buy a ticket. So let's do this a draw, and let's do a double DQ finish. Let's see if Nick Bockwinkel goes for it. He does. Cool. All right, good. So this is a pretty solid episode of Championship Wrestling here. So let's get it started. Just want to double check the numbers. Everything looks good. Let's start the show. All right, Sherry Martel with a nice defense here. She's got a nice score there, 71. She's good. Sherry was so good. And there's two of my favorites, Hector and Chavo. Obviously get the win over some enhancement talents. And you could just picture how that match went in your head. They were like, when I watched the Guerrero brothers, it's almost like they were ice skating. They were so smooth with the way they moved in the ring. It was really something to see. And if you have the chance, look up some Guerrero brothers matches on YouTube, and you'll see what I'm talking about. They were so good. I'm glad to have them here in this save, and in real life, they really were in the AWA at this time too. As I said previously, we lost Mondo. He signed with a Mexican promotion, but we brought in Eddie. All right, Russ Francis gets the win. Blackie Guzman outscored Russ Francis, and this segment gets a whopping 9. Wow. All right, Jerry Blackwell over the Milkman here. And Milliman and Blackwell not clicking. That's garbage. They clicked. That's going to be edited, folks. All right. Moving right along. Olszanowski takes out Rodriguez and his sideburns. Man, look at those things. Beautiful. Olszanowski actually got a decent score there, 57. Nice. I have nothing against Steve Olszanowski. I thought he was a good athlete. I thought he was a decent wrestler. He just, to me, never had that superstar appeal to him. Bob Backlund promo for only a 3-minute promo. He got a 67. That's doing pretty good. All right, he uses the crossface chicken wing and takes out Pantera. Awesome. Got an 89. That's a hell of a score. Scott Hall only gets a 66 on his promo. That's a little disappointing. I don't quite understand that one. Let's see if they tell us anything. No, it doesn't. I figured that would have been in the 70s. Oh well. Rose and Summers score a 62 here. And Ringo and Krugnoff just do not work well as a team. Well, that's their problem, and we'll try to avoid putting them together in the future. Maybe Ringo called out Krugnoff on not really being Russian. Maybe that was it. You never know. Nick Bockwinkel, solid score, 85. Continues that feud going strong. Now, I'm pretty excited for this main event here. Let's see what they scored. 74. How the hell did they score a 74 when Hall scores a 75 and Bockwinkel scores an 84? I'm calling bullshit on this one, folks. Even with the knocks, even with the drop for inexperience and physical ability, there's no way this should have been a 74 with Scott Hall scoring a 75 and Bockwinkel scoring an 84. This should have been at the very least an 80. Calling bullshit on this one. I'm not happy. They screwed over Hall and Bockwinkel here. All right, we don't get as high of a popularity bump as we should have because we got screwed with that main event score. All right, we're going to finish it out with All-Star Wrestling now. I am going to go ahead and label it so I know for certain. And I remember that this is what we're booking. Because as I've proved before, I will forget. I'll forget that, and I'll forget things like turning on my microphone. So Mark Starr is going to wrestle Pat Tanaka. We've talked at length about Pat Tanaka. I like him. I think he's a solid wrestler, and I'm happy that we have him here in the AWA. I wrote his name wrong. It's Mike Starr. I'll remember that for next time. There's Pat Tanaka, 3. Tanaka gets the win. Very nice. Reese and Ringo. Ringo's going to get some other work here. They're going to go against the Texas Hangmen. Make sure to bring that down to 3 minutes. We may try to find the Texas Hangmen a manager here. And we may go outside the AWA to do it. So we'll take a look and see if we can find somebody that makes sense to bring into the AWA. We're going to have Psycho get the win here. These guys had a good look. Moran and Vizzy had a good look here. Vizzy, of course, is also known as Bull Payne. Robertson is going to face Mitch Snow if he's available. Snow is one of those guys that's sucked up by the WWF all the time. So we'll check him. We'll get Greg Robertson in there first. See if Mitch Snow is available. And he is. Good. Mitch Snow, again, I know I talked about him before. The guy had a great look. Thought he was a good wrestler, and somehow he just ended up doing jobs. But in all fairness, doing jobs in the WWF in 1987, 88, probably paid pretty well. Probably made more with them doing enhancement work than he did for the AWA. All right, we're going to feature Cactus Jack next. I forgot to get him somebody to wrestle. We're going to have him beat Bun Boy Barton, the worst name I've ever heard, and I can't believe that this was real, but it was. I've shared with you previously my thoughts on Cactus Jack as a worker, but personal stuff aside, he's a serviceable hand, and he's filling a role here for us in the AWA in 1987. Cactus Jack's going to get the win. Let's put that in there so it doesn't stay blank. Jimmy Magnum is going to wrestle Johnny Rich. I don't know if we've talked about Jimmy Magnum before, but Jimmy Magnum was a capable East Coast enhancement guy, or East Coast wrestler, independent outlaw wrestler. He did do enhancement matches for the AWA. See that? I forgot who he's wrestling again. Johnny Rich. Good. So he can have all that success that he wants on the East Coast here in the AWA. He's going to be counting lights. Johnny Rich goes over. I like Johnny Rich. He's doing okay for us. Ray Stevens, our part-time worker here, going to cut a promo for us. He was always very good on the mic. We'll see what kind of a score it gets. And we're also going to have him go over Kahlua. We've talked about King Kahlua before. He's king on the East Coast. He's just Kahlua here. I could see in 1987, a young guy like Kahlua, this would probably be a great honor for him to wrestle Ray Stevens. And I recently heard on the Ric Flair podcast that he thinks Ray Stevens is the greatest wrestler of all time. I've heard others sing very high praises of Ray Stevens, but I never heard anybody call him the greatest of all time. So that's quite the accolade, especially coming from Ric Flair, who's arguably is the greatest of all time. So Nick Bockwinkel is going to cut a promo here. Going to get 5 minutes. Again, as I said before, not everybody that's wrestling is going to get a promo. I like to do what I can to keep these feuds hot. And right now, this feud is hot. He's not talking about Larry Zbyszko. He's talking about Scott Hall. So microphone, off screen, done. Johnson and Patrick versus Duncombe and Slater. Ben Patrick. Kenny Johnson. All right, Bobby Duncombe, as we know, we brought him in a few weeks ago. He's been doing very well for us, and we continue to push him hard. Bobby Duncombe is originally from Texas. So is Dick Slater. I don't know. I think they did tag together in the 70s and 80s on occasion. So I'm pairing them up again here for a tag match. I want to see how they work together. Both these guys need wins on TV. So this is a good way to get them on TV and get them the win they need. Obviously, another squash match. We're going to give Dick Slater the pin because he's been losing to Jimmy Snuka quite a bit. So we want him to look as good as possible on TV. Kurt Hennig is going to cut a promo here. And I hope it goes well. I don't think I've done a promo with him on his own in a while. If I remember correctly, his mic skills are pretty decent. And Larry Zbyszko, we're going to have to talk about Bockwinkel and Zbyszko to keep that feud hot. Microphone, off screen, off screen. And in the main event here, we are having Kevin Kelly wrestle against Curt Hennig. Should be a decent match. This is a good win for Hennig. Kevin Kelly's been winning a lot on TV. The match is going to go 14 minutes per usual. There's Curt Hennig as the victor. 65 are maxed out for the show. Let's get started. Real quick. Yeah, everything looks good. Let's go ahead and get started here. So this match only gets a 15. That's okay. We know that Pat Tanaka is just going to keep improving here as his popularity gets higher, and the best way to do that is have him win on TV. Now, recent Ringo got a problem. Ringo's making me concerned that maybe he just doesn't get along with tag partners. All right, another real low score here, but that's okay. A third real low score, but that's not bad for Mitch Snow to score a 41. We need to take a look at Mitch Snow's finisher and make sure that he has one in the system. We'll take a look at that later and off camera. All right, Cactus Jack over Bun Boy Barton. Not a bad performance here from Cactus Jack. Oh boy. Ooh. This is not going well on the undercard of this show. I'm a little concerned about our overall score. So, Johnny Rich gets the win over Magnum. Okay, not a bad rating here for only a 3-minute promo. Not a bad score. We're picking up here, folks. Why are we getting a week? This should be in the 80s. What are we doing here? Come on. This is starting to piss me off. This guy's been getting 80s and 90s promo scores, and here he does a 5-minute promo, and he gets a 76? Something's not right here. 84.75, and the overall is a 56. Wow. No squash master stuff here. Sorry to be getting negative with you folks, but I'm getting disappointed here with the scoring. I think we're getting the screws taken to us here by TEW. Great. Hennig's got a decent score here, 83. Okay, that should help us out here. At least they respected him. Now an 81 for the main event. Good. Excellent. So right there, 86, 63, and they get an 81. How these numbers work, I have no idea, because that last main event we had should have been in the 80s and it wasn't. So I don't know. I don't know how the scoring system works, but okay, we got a good main event here, 81. Let's see how that helps us overall. All right, we increased popularity in 7 regions, so good. Okay, that finishes up our TV tapings. It's going to bring us back to Thursday morning here in the main window. Jeep Swenson, what a monster. Man, was that guy a monster. And what an awful wrestler. I heard Gary Hart talk about him. Gary Hart did not enjoy managing him. So, but man, that guy was a specimen. So Michael Hayes and Manny Fernandez win the Florida tag title. Wow. And I think Graham and Kern had those belts for a while. Well, that's kind of cool. Let's see who's asking for more money. Greg Gagne doesn't connect with the fans. He is a waste of time. That is great. I'm supposed to be Vern Gagne, the owner, and Scott Hall's shit talking the son. Oh, that's great. Great, we got an extra user point here. Lawler's tired. Rose is tired. Blah blah blah. You'll be fine. You're only wrestling a match. You're only wrestling a max of 2 times a week for us here. Oh, that cracks me up. Scott Hall's trash talking Gagne. All right, folks. I think that does us here for this episode. As usual, please give us a like. Please subscribe. If you want a copy of this mod, and quite a few of you have contacted me, go to my website, braddrake.net/contact, fill out the form, let me know you want a copy of the mod. I'll be more than happy to send you version 6. Again, version 7 is not going to be released until February. I still got more work to do. And also, come join us on Facebook. Come talk about the Supermod on Facebook, facebook.com/1987 Supermod, or facebook.com 1987 Supermod. Come join us. Come talk with us. Sorry I got a little negative there. I'm disappointed in those scores in the TV, but there's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. But I hope you enjoyed the show. This is some solid AWA television. This is the type of stuff you would have seen in 1987. So thanks a lot, folks, and I hope you go ahead and tune in next time. Take care.